Have you ever felt that deep nagging urge to just be alone and then you struggle to explain it to someone you really care about? Look, you're not antisocial and you're definitely not alone in feeling this way. Today, we're going to dive into the psychology behind why needing your space isn't just normal, it's absolutely essential. This right here, this idea is a total game changer. What if that need for solitude has nothing to do with being antisocial and everything to do with your biology? This quote just nails it. It's not isolation, it's a psychological requirement. And we're about to find out exactly what that means for your brain and why it's the key to, well, everything. So let's get right into the biggest frustration of all, right? That huge gap between what other people see when you ask for space and what you're actually feeling on the inside. And this slide just captures that disconnect perfectly. On the outside, to others, it can totally look like you're being cold, or maybe even rejecting them. But on the inside, oh man, you're dealing with a storm. You're overstimulated, anxious, and just mentally exhausted. This isn't a social choice you're making, it's a state of being. And getting that difference is the very first step. Okay, so let's get to the real heart of it. What is actually happening inside your brain? Because, and this is the important part, this isn't just a preference, it's a biological necessity. It's your nervous system talking. Now, this term, nervous system regulation, it sounds kind of complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. Think about your body having both an accelerator and a brake. Too much social interaction, too much noise, too much stress, it's like you're slamming on the accelerator. That's your fight or flight kicking in. Regulation is just about learning to use the brake. And for a lot of us, solitude is the most powerful brake we have. So how does this whole regulation thing actually work in your day-to-day life? Well, a really perfect way to picture it is to think of your energy as a kind of social battery. You know, this is so powerful because it's just so true. Your brain isn't some machine that can just run forever without a break. Every conversation you have, every notification on your phone, every little decision you make, it's like a rep in a mental workout. And just like any other muscle in your body, it absolutely needs rest to recover and get stronger. And here they are, the usual suspects that drain that battery completely dry. The constant noise of an office, the chaos of a crowded store, that pressure to always be on for people. It all just adds up and up until you hit a wall. And that's the moment when alone time stops being a luxury and becomes an absolute, non-negotiable necessity to recharge. And this is such a critical point. Taking space isn't about running away from your feelings or bottling them up. It's actually the opposite. It's about giving yourself the room to actually sort through them, so they don't boil over and explode later. It's like doing preventative maintenance on your emotions. This isn't just about getting your energy back. It goes deeper. It's about actively protecting your inner peace. Think of it as a form of emotional self-defense. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt that sudden jolt of anxiety just thinking about going to a party or maybe just being in a packed room? Yeah, that's not you being weird. That's your nervous system sending up a flare, basically screaming at you that your emotional boundaries are about to be overwhelmed. And this is how you take back control. Limiting your contact with people isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of incredible strength. It's you grabbing the wheel of your own emotional state and saying, nope, this is what I can handle right now. That is so powerful. And this quote just deepens that whole idea. I mean, think about how much energy it takes to constantly manage other people's expectations, their moods, their needs. Retreating is how you shield yourself from that constant drain. It's how you keep your own system emotionally balanced and steady. So for our last piece of the puzzle, let's talk about what's actually happening in that silence. Because when you're alone, your mind isn't empty, not even close. It's actually hard at work. But you always get that question, don't you? Why not just talk it out with someone? And it's a fair question, but it's based on this huge assumption that everyone's brain works the exact same way. And they just don't. The answer, and this is so cool, might lie in a fascinating concept. Your brain might just be wired for something called an internal locus of processing. This is such a validating idea, isn't it? It basically means that for you, problem solving isn't a team sport, it's a solo mission. Your best ideas, your clearest thoughts, they come from those quiet conversations you have with yourself. For you, talking it out with someone else isn't processing, it's actually an interruption. Your mind is buzzing even when you're not saying a word. So let's just be crystal clear on the big takeaway here. Needing space is not a character flaw. It has absolutely nothing to do with whether you like people or not. What it really means is that you are in tune with your own system. You're actively protecting your own peace. You are managing your energy. And that is a powerful, powerful sign of self-awareness. So that leaves us here. The question isn't why you need space anymore. We've figured that out. The real question is, now that you understand this about yourself, how are you going to protect your peace? How are you going to build a life that honors that need